Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz, along with nothing. Subscribe to TYT Sports, Dick. A little more baseball, because I saw this. I was reading Phil Rogers today in the LA Times, and talking about the Cardinals and their inability to hit with runners in scoring position, which was a disaster for them there in Game 5. And the fact is, in the series, the Cardinals are getting hammered in this. And Phil Rogers, they've struggled with runners in scoring position. And Phil Rogers was talking about how La Russa, by the way, yesterday when the game was rained out, he went to see Moneyball, which he hates already. I don't know if he's read it. My hunch is he hasn't, because he doesn't like how the scouts are portrayed in it, and he doesn't like the emphasis on base percentage. And significantly, he doesn't like the portrayal of Art Howe, which I like.
Are you guessing he doesn't like it, or are you?
No. He doesn't like because of its portrayal of Art Howe, its portrayal of baseball scouts, and and the scouts. There's a little. You could easily belittle scouts in that. If you read the book, the scouts aren't really belittled. It was just a sense that, hey, maybe we're relying too much solely on them, and there's obviously needs to be a balance. It's all the book said. It's not even controversial. It's obvious. The book is right. People who argue it, I don't think they've read the book. That's all there is to it. But the portrayal of Art Howe is clearly unfair in the book. And La Russa is defending his buddy. I got that. I like that. But La Russa goes to see it. It reminds people the Cardinals are putting runners on base in the series, but they're not driving them in. Baseball it's frustrating, I think, for fans, because the fact is there's so much just flat out luck involved in this game. The Cardinals, with runners in scoring position in this World Series, are 8 for 43. It's such a small sample size. They're 8 for 43. They're hitting 186. Those 8 hits, they got a double, 2 doubles, a home run. In the League Championship Series, right, they beat the Brewers 4-2. The Cardinals were 21 for 67. They hit 313 with runners in scoring position in the League Championship Series, and they hit 288 in the Division Series with runners in scoring position when they beat the Phillies. Those first 2 series combined, they beat the Phillies 3-2, they beat the Brewers 4-2, they go 7-4, they go 36 for 119 with runners in scoring position, they hit 303, pretty similar to their 290 batting average during the season, by far and away the league's leading team with runners in scoring position. Look, man, and then now they're in a little rut. Their average is it's come down because they've gone 8 for 43. It just happens. David Freese had a couple of opportunities there with men on in the second inning, then again in the 7th. He swung at the first pitch both times. He flew out. He had pitches to hit. He didn't hit them.
Yeah, he faced 16 pitches.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And with those times with runners on, with the bases loaded in the 7th, he swung at the first pitch, flew to center, and I think with 2 men on in the second, he flew out on the first pitch.
How do you feel about taking the first pitch?
You shouldn't. You have to have a considered, thoughtful approach. If it's a strike and you think it's a strike and it's a fastball and it's a pitch you think you get hit, you don't want to be down 0-1. You're down 0-1, you're in a huge hole. Do you know, I looked at this stat a few years ago, and so I assume it's true, basically true every year. But what is true is this. When it's 1-1, if the next pitch is not put into play, that pitch is a colossally important pitch. If the count moves to 2-1 in your favor if you're the hitter, or falls to 1-2 against you, it changes the whole at bat.
Absolutely.
Do you know the batting average? This was, again, looked up, 3-4 years ago. And so I'm gonna use it as if it's still completely true. The batting average of major league hitters when the count is 1-2, you know what it is?
Under 200?
It's 170 when the count is 1-2. You know what it is when it's 2-1?
Probably about 260.
340.
What?
Doubled. That's how significant that pitch is. So when announcers are there and as a little guy takes a 1-1 pitch and it looks like it catches the corner and the umpire doesn't give the pitcher the call, it goes to 2-1, huge advantage just swung to the batter. All of a sudden he's got a fighting chance in the at-bat, where at 1-2, you're a 170 hitter.
And he could throw anything he wants.
He can throw anything he wants. He can throw his best pitch. That's why it's incredibly frustrating when guys throw balls over the middle of the plate when it's 0-2 or 1-2, thing that when I grew up in D.C., and it didn't seem like enough broadcasters talked about pitching. Jim Palmer covered the Orioles, and he always did, and he was always so frustrated when there was a hittable pitch at 0-2 or 1-2. He hated it. Throw your best pitch, throw it dirty, throw it hard. You know, look, man, and sometimes you're going to make a mistake. Sometimes you're going to try to throw that pitch, and you're going to leave it out over the middle of the plate. And he'll hit it, and that's luck. And that's what's happened to the Cardinals. Like, with all this focus on the nonsense story about the bullpen, which I don't buy, or the hit and runs with Pujols and Allen Craig in the 7th and 9th innings, I don't really buy either. I can't wait till the end of the season. We perhaps learn more. I don't know what the answer is. It's like the JFK assassination. I know there's more. I don't really have my own theory. So, but the fact is, if David Freese, instead of taking that fastball that he got from Ogando in the 7th and lined it into right center field, the Cardinals come back, tie that game, or win it. They go ahead, changes their pitching sequence in the 8th inning, and they're up 3-2. They're 8 for 43. If they were 11 for 43, they'd be hitting just over 250. But if those hits had come slightly at the right time on a bloop in game 2 or game 5, the competitive games of this series that they lost, well, then everything's different, because you figure game 4, the Derek Holland shutout, that's a loss no matter what. Then it's different, and they're still not hitting well. It's just luck, man. They're a good team. They have a good approach at the plate, and sometimes it's not going to work.
I would say part of it's on Furcal, too.
On Furcal?
Yeah.
For what?
Not getting on as a leadoff man.
Yeah, well, there you go. For him, it's on base percentage. I mean, he can get on for anybody all year. He can get on in Los Angeles. He can get on in St. Louis.
He's hitting 150 in the series.
Yeah, okay, but it's what is he, 3 for 20?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, he hits a little, you get one of those falls, he's hitting 200, and we're not even having this conversation, even though it's still bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Albert Pujols, we talked about it yesterday when we did the show yesterday. Albert Pujols had 5 hits and 6 at-bats and hit 3 home runs in game 3. The unbelievable record-setting World Series performance, right?
And then?
Yeah, and then his error and a weak stab at the cutoff throw in game 2 allows the runner to get to second base, allows Andrews to get to second base, eventually becomes the Rangers' second run and a 2-1 win. And then if we're to believe that he put on these nonsensical hit and runs, both of them bad plays, the one in the 9th I think particularly egregious, well then he plays huge roles in them losing 2 games. Is he bad? No, it's just he's the best right-handed hitter in baseball, maybe ever.
But the mental errors will always catch up with you, especially in big games.
But I'm saying they don't always catch up with you. We just notice when they do catch up with you. He still would have made that mental error in the 9th inning that allowed the Rangers to get Andrews to second base and eventually score that run on the second sacrifice fly of the inning. But if the Cardinals had scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, we really wouldn't be talking about it.
Is there any excuse for mental errors, though, in any game?
I don't know what any excuse means. Like, what do you mean, any excuse? What are we supposed to say with any excuse? There's no excuse for that. You want to yell at him? I mean, we make mental errors. We're humans. We make errors. Some of them are mental, some of them aren't.
And the teams that make less mental errors usually win.
Yes, but I don't know that over the course of a season, those teams make fewer mental errors. I just think we spend, like, if you're relying on consistently dumb players, it's less true in baseball. I suspect, if your quarterback isn't bright, if your point guard isn't bright, and they make a lot of mental mistakes, yeah, they're exacerbated, but they happen. And I don't believe they happen in the playoffs more than they happen in the regular season. I don't believe anything happens.
Well, because it's a smaller sample size in the postseason. There are fewer games.
Right, and we look at it, so everything seems exacerbated. I mean, the fact of the matter is, what's frustrating for people, I think, is that the Cardinals and the Rangers seem fairly evenly matched. The Rangers, I think the Cardinals went 92-70. I think the Rangers went 96-66. Let's presume the leagues are exactly equal for purposes of this conversation. One team wins 96 games, the other team wins 92 games. That means if they played each other 162 times, the Rangers would win 82. And so, yeah, man, look, 7 games, things are going to happen. Guys are going to produce. That ball's going to fall. I mean, how many line drives got caught? That's just luck. That ball was hit hard, but it got hit at a guy, and that's that. Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz along with Rookie Mankiewicz, and Rookie has an important message for you. Subscribe to TYT Sports.